Alright, it's like, okay, it's not, it's the next slide or not? I think your mic is off, so you can. Oh, I see. Hello. Oh, very good. Okay. So it's like 5:05, and because we do want to get to the creative part of the program, we're going to try to start on time. But what I will do is that I will certainly welcome you into this space. We are, I guess, at the Community Healing and Arts event in remembrance of March 16th, which is really the anniversary of the um, the star shootings that happened in Atlanta. And so, as part of that remembrance, we have together this community event, hoping that this will give an opportunity for ATL women and others who identify as fans or, I guess, non-binary persons and their families and allies to come together to both remember the women from Atlanta, but also to have an opportunity to be in community and be able to express themselves if you would like, or find ways to just take pride in the fact that we are Asian American women who live in the US, in DC, especially in this location. And we are of course concerned about the quality of life that we have, the safety that we may be able to enjoy. So welcome everyone, and so glad to see the family and friends of our young singer. There's also, I guess, a young woman who comes from a professional association. We have a volunteer who is helping to live stream, so will be actually live streamed. This is part of a national effort to have API communities in different cities celebrate March 16th and remember March 16th on the same day. The live streaming is happening both nationally and then locally. I guess I would like also to thank the DC Mayor's Office on APIs that has been helping to co-sponsor it. The DC Domestic Violence Resource Center, we had one of the staff members who helped conceptualize this event. However, she's sick today and she's not able to be here, but we want to acknowledge her and thank them. And then we definitely would want to thank the national network of the Asian Justice Movement that has put so much effort in the past several weeks to organize all the different cities and try to bring voices and visibility to API women during that time. So, We will officially start the program now. To open this event, I would like to share with you a poem which is really a centering and welcoming poem. It's also participatory, so when the time comes to ask for you to raise voices with me, if you would please participate as well. Blessings for when star is coming. Thank you for being here. Here you are, never alone, because you are here. You, the beautiful you, perfect in all of your light and all your darkness. Here, let's celebrate, first of all, you who came. Your belly with its button that connects you to your mother and all the mothers that came before. Your ribs that lift you up and help you stand tall. Your chest that holds your heart and radiates with love. Your head that holds your mind and helps you understand the world and remember what matters. Please stand up or be seated. Close your eyes or keep them open. You can bring your hands into prayer or keep them relaxed by your side. Choose whatever position makes you feel comfortable. Let your breath flow in and out and bless each part of you. Let the breath fill your belly, lift your ribs, fill your heart, hold at the top of your head. Let the breath flow back down your head, down your chest, down your ribs, to your belly. Repeat the wave of this breath 7 times. Today we'll do 3 times for time's sake. Your hands may follow your breath, rising in praise of your light and raining back down as a blessing. So we're going to do some collective breathing. You can breathe from your belly, your ribs, your chest, your head. Breathe out from the head, the chest, the ribs, the belly. Breathe in from the belly, the ribs, the chest, top of the head. Breathe out from head, chest, ribs, belly. One last time. Breathe in from your belly, your ribs, your chest, top of the head. Breathe out, head, chest, ribs, belly. Now take a moment to thank your breath and the blessing that is you. We will now remember why we are gathered here today. Another star disappeared in the sky, and in the night that feels a little colder, our steps may be a little shakier. In our grief, some may pray, some may shout, some may hide, some may sleep, some may rampage, some may build things of beauty. Some may organize, some may dream, some may write poems or sing songs of hope. We each cry in our own ways, but in this shared grief, we become sisters, we become family, we become community. Today we gather in this circle. Each woman brings her special gift or special light, adds a flower from her foremother's garden. A tulip, a water lily, a blue poppy, a plum blossom, an orchid, a rose, a cherry blossom, a black iris, some jasmine, a frangipani, a lotus. Together we gather this Pan-Asian bouquet, our united offering to remember the one who is gone. To break the silence, to honor our dearly departed. We say no to violence in all the languages of our foremothers. Please join this chorus of voices. And what I'm going to do is, since we have a live audience, is I'm going to ask you guys to share what the no in your mother's language if you know it. Would somebody like to share no in their own language? Ben? Hindi. Hindi. Okay. Katie? Okay. So I'm mom. It's Chiku. Somebody else in the audience? How would you say no in your mother's language or your grandmother's language? Did somebody share that? Okay. Otherwise, we have some, I guess, some language here. So no, using, mahategu, aole, tidak, iat, anio, kong, bo, te, le. We also say yes to justice in all the languages of our foremothers. Please join this chorus of our voices. And here we can read just I guess, all the yeses in all the different languages. So, yes, yo, stop long, down, bat, ne, hi, da, oteton. We raise our hand, and you can do this with me if you would like. We turn our pinky finger inside to reach towards our thumb. What happens then is that our hand becomes a bowl. It also becomes a lotus. So in Indian dance, for example, this is also the hand movement for lotus. So our hand has become a bowl, a lotus full of our light and love for each other. And we release that light and that love into the world. And we say love in the languages of all of our mothers. Please join this chorus of our voices. Love, and you're welcome to, also join the voices. Love, aloha, sneha, hak, yubaki, paranibit, saran, I, Pluk, aloha, ache, hi. We send our words, our light, and our love through these lotuses rising from our hands. In a wave, a movement flowing into the world to find justice for Asian women and all those who carry the spirit of Asian women. Before we leave this circle to begin our work, let's take a moment of silence for the star that has gone but will never be forgotten. Go forth in peace and may your work begin. Next, in the programming, we will have a song by Juliet Lee, who will sing Change by Christina Aguilera. When I was young, I would love you right. Tonight, I'm coming clear. But I remember being filled with such wonder. For like a book I'm sure. When you love the color of your skin, or the picture of what I grew up in. Should decide how you will be treated, or I'll decide what everyone's all different voices. Let them know who we are and choices. And one day we'll have this chorus, waiting for its rise to set us free. Waiting for the day when you can be you and I can be me. Waiting for our hearts to come around. Waiting for the day when Harry runs another town. Waiting for its rain. Waiting for its rain. Waiting for a change. This was Juliet Lee. She's 10 years old and she's so talented. We will look forward to her career as a singer. Thank you so much for coming tonight and sharing your talent and your life with us. So today is really about trying to find our voices as hopefully API women, but also of course all supporters of API women and girls. And one of the ways that communications, especially written communications, can be more powerful is through the tools of poetry, for example. I'm a busy poet, actually, and so one of the things that I wanted to do today is have a mini poetry workshop before we actually start writing sticky notes, as well as making posters and maybe writing some mini poems, so that you may have those additional tools to craft messages that have the power and beauty of poetry as well. So the mini poetry workshop will go really fast. The basics of poetry really is to remember that the poem is about a metaphor. So a metaphor means to use an image, meaning to use something to mean something else. For example, you can say, happiness is a red balloon. And when you do that, then people have a better picture of what you mean by happiness because they can visualize a red balloon, for example. So that's one of the ways that you make your messages stronger. The other way that you can make your messages stronger with poetic tools is through sound. So poetry is a lot about sound. It can be rhymes that are things that sound the same at the end of words and at the end of phrases, verses, sentences. You can have alliterations, which means that you have the same consonant that are repeating, like, for example, but, did, was, things like that. Then you have a repetition of a consonant, B. Or it can be assonance. It's a repetition of vowels. So, for example, love, glow, like an O sound. And then repetitions of other things. So sometimes in poetry they can have I love, 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 and that also has a certain effect to the message. One form of very short poetry, which a lot of people use, is, for example, a haiku, which is a Japanese form of poetry. The basics of haiku is really that it's 3 lines. The very traditional form, you have 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables in the 3 lines. But nowadays people can, it's freestyle. So as long as you have a couple of lines, it's kind of short, and then it has some type of powerful message contained in there. And typically, haiku poems have been about nature, but the nature leads to a reflection on human life. And an example of a haiku, for example, is A World of Dew by Kobayashi Isa, who says, a world of dew, and within every dewdrop, a world of struggle. So the poetic form just gives a more, I guess, power to the words and then imagery to the communication that the poet is trying to share. So now we're going to have a creation time where people are invited to do either poetry writing, you can do lotus origami. One thing that I did, for example, in a poetry workshop is that people would write a poem, then they can write it on the origami paper, and then they can fold it in a lotus. So then you can have a lotus that then has a poem inside, like this. We also have sticky notes where you can write messages about what today means to you, for example, and then we can stick it to a wall. I think we were thinking that we would stick it to the wall over there. So we have that. And then some people in some of our cities are going to write on their hands. And we have a photographer here who actually can be taking pictures of your, whatever messages you have written. And we also have some papers that if somebody wants to make posters, they can also have that option. So we have a couple of tables there. You can choose, whichever table you would like to be at, and it could be that we do a lot of the same things at the same table. The origami table might take a little bit more space. I will also have, I guess, paper for people who want to do the poetry, and then the sticky notes are also there, and plans and everything. So please. And the last thing that I wanted to say is that there's a notebook that I'm going to pass around, and I'm going to ask each person to share one verse. And at the end, before we close, we are going to read the poem together that we created together, which is a communal poem. So please stay until that moment, contribute to that notebook when it comes through your hand. And I'm so glad that we had a lot of people that trickled in between. So maybe actually before we close, we should ask, where did you come from? How did you hear about this event? I know that many people are here because they're Juliet's family, which is wonderful. And I guess there was also a youth group around here, and we had somebody from the professional association here, and some other people. At any rate, whatever we came here, thank you so much for being here, and I hope that this community moment will give you time to learn new skills, have fun, and also help create some messages about today. So please follow me at some of the other tables, and we'll have some craft time, creativity time together. I would like to comment on